How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another Creativerse tutorials video. This one is going to be about a topic that I've been being asked to cover for quite a long time, and that is how to farm iron, and in the case of this particular design, obsidian as well, but that is mainly incidental. So, this building in front of me is a chest farm. And for those of you unfamiliar, a chest farm is basically a large area of ground which is primed and designed to make certain kinds of chests spawn. So in Creativerse, chests spawn under a number of circumstances. The most important one is it has to be dark, so not during the day like this, which is why we've got a big dark room. And it has to be on a natural block, so like grass, stone, or in the case of this particular building, oh, hello there, Rambo, igneous rock. Now, the particular block you're using determines what level of chest you've got. So you've got surface level chests, you've got stone layer chests, and you've got kind of stalactite layer chests, which is where you'll find siltstone, lava layer chests, which is what we're going to be doing here, and you've got corruption layer chests. So that's wood, stone, iron, and diamond tier chests, respectively. And we want iron tier chests, which spawn in the lava layer. So once you've got your block, so it has to be any natural block, that is a block which appears in world generation, not crafted. For lava layer, the easiest to acquire ones are hardened lava and igneous rock. They both work exactly the same, except for I chose igneous rock because it doesn't cause you to heat up and suffer burning damage. Unfortunately, this does mean that hostile creatures will spawn, which is a problem if you're not playing on peaceful. So fire resistance potions or some good armor is a good idea. Maybe some health potions as well. A few other considerations about this kind of platform is it doesn't want to be really close to the player. So if you're hanging around just outside the door, chests won't want to spawn. Like this one here spawned after only a couple of minutes, actually, while I was standing on the roof of that windmill over there. Just to bring up the map like this. For how far you want to be away, basically you want to be around about a claim away from the area you're trying to spawn chests in. But not so far out that on the map it's under a blurred out area like this, because it needs to be an area which is currently loaded in the game. So, for example, I'm here on the right side of the map here. We go over 2 claims, and this area is still loaded. We go over another claim, and that's an unloaded area in the world. So over there, chests won't spawn. They'll spawn anywhere between here and there, but not over there. Also, chests will not spawn too close to each other. So now that this guy has spawned in here, it's quite likely that another one won't spawn until that one is removed. Now, I've got some lights rigged up to this so that I can turn it on and show you guys the platform. Incidentally, this is a 33 by 33 platform. The size does not matter technically. Any real size, even small like a 10 by 10, will technically spawn chests, but to get a good chance of them spawning, you want it to be big. This is actually quite a small platform for spawning chests. A very popular size is 128 by 128, which is 2 claims by 2 claims. So this claim, this claim, this claim, and this claim. A platform that size will spawn a lot of chests, particularly because more than one chest to be able to spawn on it at once without interfering with the ability for more to spawn. Maybe 4 or 5, if you're lucky, will spawn at once. And also, even if you're standing in one of the claims or on the edge, there'll still be the ability for chests to spawn on other sides. So if you get really lucky, you might wander on to pick up a chest like this. Oh, look, I've got some obsidian ore and some coal, and then a chest will spawn somewhere else while you're there. It won't happen in this particular one because I'm too close to the platform, because it's too small. So, ideally, if you want this to work the most efficient as possible, you want it to be a lot bigger than this. This is just a small one to show you how the mechanics work. A few other things to consider if you want to go for absolute maximum efficiency is you want to be as far away from areas in the world that other chests can spawn naturally as possible. So for example, right here in the caves underground, even during the day, chests can spawn. Underground here, even though I've done a little bit of lighting up, some can still spawn in darkened areas like that. So a good place is way up high in the sky, as close to the ceiling of the world as you can actually, and also over water where chests cannot spawn, except in caves underneath the ocean. So the best of all possible scenarios is building 128 by 128, or maybe even bigger if you have the resources, platform of igneous rock or hardened lava, over ocean, at the ceiling of the world, and that will provide you with the most efficient scenario. You'll be getting quite a few chests in that situation. It just takes quite a while to set something like that up. Now, for regularity of chest spawning, when I first built this, I did one. This is actually my second take recording this video. The first time died due to a technical failure, and it took about an hour for the chest to spawn in that situation, though keep in mind I was still kind of getting a feel for how close I could afford to be. And the second chest, once I sat myself on top of that wind farm, took maybe 5 to 10 minutes to spawn. So you absolutely can get them every 5 to 10 minutes if you're lucky and if you're at the right distance away. And again, I will stress this, you don't want there to be any light in there at all. It has to be dark for chests to spawn. So I've turned this light on just so you can see inside. But if you want chests to spawn, if you've got lights, turn them off or cover them up. You want it to be really dark like this. Because, yeah, no chests spawn in daylight. They do not despawn in contact with light, whether it's a torch or daylight, so don't worry about that. If you're using block phases, for example, to make the ceiling vanish, that's okay. And particularly if you're using a corruption layer farm to get iron, instead of the lava option, because both are just as viable, that will be handy because it will make creatures die, and you can do that because it won't make the chest vanish, so don't worry about doing that. If you are only after iron and don't care about obsidian, I do recommend doing a corruption layer farm for diamond chests rather than this lava layer farm like I've got here, because you will get more iron out of those chests than you'll get from the lava one. I'm only doing the lava one here because I personally value obsidian over iron because I use it a lot in builds. Like, for example, here, and there's quite a lot over there, you can see. So I actually really want to be getting obsidian. But if iron is your only goal, or if you just don't care about obsidian as much as you do about iron, I recommend using corruption level blocks. So that's corrupted stone or corrupted dirt. Either of those work very well. Just be aware when you're doing that, you will start getting corruption as soon as you step on the blocks. So after that fills up, you'll start taking some damage, although I can't ever imagine you having to spend as much time on there to pick up chests as would cause you to start taking damage, because you usually need a good few minutes just sitting still there, and so it shouldn't really be much of a problem. Now, just kind of think if there's anything I haven't said which would be relevant. I actually think that is pretty much everything, so just going to go over the checklist again. You need a large room, as big as possible. It needs to be the right blocks, so igneous rock for what I'm doing for lava layer chests. Hardened lava also works. Or corrupted stone, for example, for corruption level diamond chests. That also works. Or anything. You can do chests for other layers as well. Just be aware that only lava layer and corruption layer chests give you iron. You also need it to be dark. And you want it to be away from both you, but not too far away, and other chests. So up in the sky, away in the water, over the water, or just in an area which is incredibly well lit, right down to the corruption. So that is your main checklist. If you get all of those conditions right, you're in prime time for farming chests, and it's not as quick as mining in an unexplored area. I find that if you're mining for iron in an area where people haven't gone caving for iron yet, and you're running through caves, you'll tend to find more iron than you'll get out of even the more efficient corruption chest farms. But if you're in an area where people have gone through all of the really obvious caves and there's been a lot of strip mining as well, so you're spending a lot of your time, maybe even most, just looking for a good place to go hunting for iron, then these farms might be a really good idea. Also, when using them, I don't recommend that you sit around AFK waiting for it to give you chests. It will give you them, but it's going to take quite a while to produce particularly good results. So what I recommend is, if you're an occasional needer of iron, have it built, and go about your day building things, whatever you like to do in Creativerse, and just come back and check every now and then. And hopefully then, by the time you need some iron or some obsidian, in my case, you'll have ended up farming enough of it that you don't need to worry. You can absolutely AFK it. It's just that it won't be as quick as mining. So I wouldn't want you to be disappointed. You're not going to end up with thousands and thousands of iron in a couple of hours like this. But you can easily get a few hundred. Also, if you're going to go the AFK route, just for efficiency's sake, if you want to give it every possible speed boost you can, bring a bed and sleep away the day. Not the night, the day. Because... Sorry, no, wait a minute. I'm very wrong there. Sorry. Sleep away the night because you only want it to be daytime, because it's going to be dark in here all the time. Doesn't matter about the time of day. You want it to be dark in here all the time anyway. But if it's daytime outside, no other chests can spawn except where you want them to, and that means they're more likely to spawn in there. So you want to be sleeping away the night if you are AFKing. And as night is about 4 AM to 8 PM, that means you're going to want to sleep every 16 minutes, or roughly quarter of an hour. So if you really want to be efficient about it and you've got something else to do, you could AFK and set, say, a timer on your stopwatch or your phone to just remind you every 15 minutes to go and jump in a bed and check the farm. And it's quite likely that every 15 minutes or so there will be at least one chest there, especially if you've got quite a large farm. So it's a good idea if you're low on resources and you've got other things to do on your computer, and you might as well get some resources for your next play session while you're at it. Anyway, guys, that is it for a basic chest farm for iron and obsidian. It's quite possible that there's things I don't know about to make these more efficient, so if you know something, leave it a comment and I will add a note about it. And if things come out or change in a way that make it possible to make this a lot more efficient, I'll do an advanced video on how to implement those improvements as well. And anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video and I hope you find it useful, and I'll see you next time. See you later.